Good morning, you beautiful buggers. Welcome to Budget Cars and Bikes. We are on the blue mat, as you can see, which means we've got another product to review. Today, we're going to be taking a look at the Xtool A30 diagnostic scanning dongle affair. As you can see there's my hand, there's the box, well, it's tiny and it weighs absolutely nothing. So if you're looking for something very, very simple to use, bi-directional, free lifetime updates that does more than you could possibly imagine, but you still want to be able to stick it in your glove box or in your pocket and then use your tablet or your phone to find out what's going on with your car or your motorcycle. Stick around, we'll get this open, I'll talk you through the specs, and then we'll put it through some tests and I'll tell you what I think of it. Okay guys, well as I said, that is the Xtool AnyScan, otherwise known as the A30. It's coming in this tiny little box. There's not very much to say about what's written on it because it doesn't seem to have very much written on it. It just says Xtool AnyScan, smart diagnostic scanner, all makes, all models, all systems. We can do our live data stream, of course, as you can with pretty much all of these. We are going to have system maintenance and reset menus as well, although they may be slightly limited. For vehicle diagnostics, we'll see, and read and clear DTC codes, which is what you would expect from this. This, though, is bi-directional as well, so there are some features in here that will be different to the cheaper Chinese dongles that you often see for 20 quid on Facebook and stuff like that. Anyway, we'll get this box open. It won't take very long at all, and we'll see exactly what we get. Okay, well that is pretty much it guys. There is nothing else. There's no charging cable, there's no leads of any description, there's no user manual whatsoever. There is a quality certificate which basically has the activation code that you may need for this when you download the app for your phone or your tablet, whichever you prefer to use. But they don't tell you how to do any of that. The QR codes here, I'm assuming, will be for Apple and Android to download the app. And from there, that'll probably be where you're going to get all the info on how to use this little bad boy. But as you can see, that is it. You just literally get the dongle. It doesn't weigh a huge amount. There is an LCD screen there. I'm hoping that'll focus. There's a little LCD screen there, which will basically tell you what your car voltage is doing at all times. That's kind of handy, I guess. But then if you've got that under the dash, how are you going to see it? Interesting little gimmick, but not quite sure how useful that might be. But yeah, that is pretty much what you get in the box, guys. Not very much else I can say until we get out to the car. We'll plug this in. I will probably download this onto my tablet simply because I don't want to use my phone, because they're going to want some information I'm not happy to share because I do banking on my phone, as I'm sure some of you lot do, and I don't really want to be downloading apps I don't know and sharing information that I'm not comfortable sharing on my phone. So I'm going to download all the info I can onto my tablet. I'll cut back in, we'll jump out to the car, we'll put it through some tests, and then we'll close out the video and I'll tell you whether you should buy this, whether the eDiag Elite is better, because that is very, very reminiscent of this. I'll stick a link in somewhere up here for that. And as I said, we'll tell you whether you should buy one, if it's any good, etc. All right, let's get this in the car, get all the apps kind of downloaded, and we will put it through some tests. So as you can see guys, we've got the dongle now attached to the OBD port there. What you're going to see basically is your car voltage currently, which is 11.7, which is handy. And at the sides there, I'm not quite sure if you can see that, but there are two buttons. If you press either one of those, then there's a little torch inside of the dongle as well. So if you've got a hard to reach and hard to see kind of area for your OBD port, that's kind of helpful. So the red light there denotes that it's getting power from the OBD port. Then we are going to have a blue light, I believe, once we're connected to Bluetooth on your tablet or phone. And then once we start doing data transfers and connecting with the vehicle systems, there should be a green light on the far left of the red light you can see now. And that'll start flashing to let you know that it's transferring data and communicating with sensors and modules, that kind of thing. I'm going to use the tablet now, guys, but I'm going to do a screenshot from there because it's hot as hell in here and I want to put the aircon on. I don't want it to be recording over my voice too much. So that's the dongle connected. Stand by, we'll switch into the tablet mode. All right, guys, there is the user interface. I did actually have to register using the little card that they give you as well. It's got the serial number, the activation code. You put in any old email you want to, as in an email address, and you choose your password, and you can just get going now. One thing I could not work out for the life of me, every time I pressed the special function button, it said no data. So I couldn't work out why there was no data inside there, and I also couldn't work out where the oil resets were, the DPF regen, all that kind of stuff you'd expect to see, seemingly just wasn't here. So if you get that problem, all you do is you click the update button. I'm not quite sure if it's going to show us here because I've already done it, but there should be a couple of sections just around about more somewhere, he says confidently, but inside here somewhere is the special, there we are. If you look number 41 there, special function TPMS reset Australia. If you don't download each and everything you want for your service menu, then you won't see it in the special functions. We've got there special function TPMS reset Japan. Obviously I didn't download those, but the ones I have downloaded are relevant for me, i.e. TPMS reset and oil reset, etc, etc. See there, number 11 special function TPMS reset for the US. So if you're having that problem, get into your updates, download the ones you want to see. Now auto scan, it won't do it because we are in a slightly older car. We are in the Nissan Qashqai, the 2012, but we can, I've already actually gone in here and I manually inputted the VIN code, so it'll tell us exactly what we've got going on there, and we can just press the Nissan button and I'll talk you through this. So inside the dedicated diagnostic selection here, you've got automatic detection, manual selection, and diagnose single system. Well, press the diagnose single system and you can have a little look in here. You can effectively go in here and just test things out, like say press the engine button. That will communicate with the engine. It should start flashing the green light on the dongle. Yep, mine's just started flashing now because it's initializing the communications, which is kind of exactly what you want to see, really. The one thing I do like about this whole system here is the user interface is exactly the same, from what I gather, as you would see if you bought an Xtool dedicated diagnostic scanner, as in the big box, as it were, the much more expensive ones. This is the same user interface you will see, so that's kind of useful. I do like the way they've kept that and crossed it over. We will click into the 0147, see if we can get some info. Now here you're going to have your actuator test, which I do love these. This is where the kind of bi-directional aspect of things comes in. We can switch on the cooling fans, which would be very prevalent because it is boiling. Let's put that on high. Yep, it's suddenly blowing out lovely cold air to me. That's perfect. And then you just basically switch that off. So if you've got a problem in your car and you can't quite work out what's going on, you can check things like the switches in your electric windows and sunroofs, the locks, as in the central locking, that kind of stuff. You just basically go into that section where we actuator tests, engine coolant, temperature, fuel injection. It'll basically purge the control valves, power balance, ignition timing, all that kind of good stuff. It'll be done through the actuation test, which I find incredibly helpful. That's just the engine, so we'll pop back out of there. There's your airbags, body control module there. That's where your windows will be, I'm assuming, sunroofs, stuff like that. We'll find out, I guess, in a second. And here we have the theft alarm, the signal buffer, the wipers, the flashers, the door locks. Let's have a little look at that actuation test there. Maybe need to press it again. So door lock will just basically all lock. Hoping you heard that. All unlock. There you go. Perfect. Now you could go around, if you had one door that wasn't locking, you could go around and make sure that it's actually making a clicking sound when it should do. So you know whether it's the switch, whether it's the key lock, as in the locking mechanism inside the car. That's always useful. There's the headlamp one there as well. That's always quite useful. So that's your system selection there and your kind of actuator functionality of the bi-directional stuff, which I do love a bi-directional scanner. Manual selection, not sure. We'll go for Europe, Great Britain. We probably have to go down to Qashqai. We're in a J10. Let's see what it tells us in here. System selection, again, we've just looked at that. Automatic scan. It's going to start basically scanning for DCC codes. We don't have any, but that's where you would go if you wanted to do a quick diagnostic. There's no point in us looking at that because we don't have any problems. So we'll just get out of there and we'll confirm we want to get out of there, go back into here, and this is the user interface again. Auto scan, we'll have a little look. I don't think it'll do much because it may ask us for the VIN number again, which is pointless because it already knows we're in Nissan. But generally speaking, they all tend to do that, so we'll find out in a second. And as predicted, VIN code is not recognized. Please input manually. We did that anyway, so we'll just get out of there. But obviously, if you've got a slightly newer car or your car is equipped to auto scan your VIN, that's the quick way of doing it. Now then, settings. We'll have a little look in here. You can change your language to all the usual suspects, although not very many of them. I mean, I don't see French, for an example, or Greek. Yeah, that's interesting. Not very many languages. You might be able to download more languages. You'll have to check for yourself. Units, you can change to US units, imperial or metric. Bluetooth, you will have to connect it to your Bluetooth of your tablet or your phone, but that's very simple. It just comes up and says A30M, as you can see. Workshop information, that's you, basically. You just put all your stuff in there, basically. And the version that you're on, that's simple. Now, inside here, now here we go. I didn't see any of this. When I first started off, I couldn't see, this was empty, basically. But inside here, you've got your Windows initiation. So back out of here, you've got your EPB, electronic parking brake reset, seat calibration, oil reset. Gotta love that. You basically just go back into there. TPMS for your air pressure, the ECU, transport mode if you've got that, EPS adaptation, gearbox adaptation, throttle adaptation, water pump actuation, DPF regen, which is always really, really good. I don't see an EGR system reset. No, sorry, that's the EPB, isn't it? Yeah, I don't see an EGR regen in here for some reason, which is a bit of a shame. Always nice to see that, unless they've named it something else. Airbag reset, ABS bleeding, very, very helpful. I wonder if it has injector coding in here. Doesn't seem to have. There we are, top left corner there, injector coding. All the stuff that you would need basically is inside there, but you may have to download it via the updates thing as I showed you just now. So that's it. That's the user interface for the Xtool A30M. I hope I've explained everything there nice and clearly for you guys, and it's been of some use. We're going to pop back inside the house and cool down a little bit, and I will close out the video and let you know whether you should buy this, how it compares with the Diag and others, which are very similar to this. And there'll be links obviously in the description with any discount codes and affiliate links, should there be any. But yeah, I'm going to get out of this car because it's bloody boiling, and I'll let you know my findings in the closing out section of this video. Okay guys, well that has been a quick overview, testing and review of the new Xtool. I say new to us anyway, the AnyScan A30M if you prefer, from Xtool. I gotta say, I do really like this little unit. It's a very, very kind of pocket rocket type of affair. Bi-directional, free lifetime updates, as I said, with the bi-directional as well, which is very unusual. If you've been watching the channel for a while and you've seen some of the videos we've done on bi-directional scanners, you'll know that most often with these, you've got to download the specific car model and make, manufacturer as it were, to get the bi-directional stuff. And sometimes that'll cost a bit extra. After 12 months, normally you've got to renew that subscription to keep that bi-directional function. Seemingly though, Xtools have decided to make this little AnyScan A30M free for all sorts of updates, including the generic kind of OBD2 updates and the bi-directional as well. So in theory, this will work forever. And it's a really, really reasonable price, guys. The link will be in the description, but I believe it's sub $100, £100. And you've seen it in action. You've seen what it can do. You've seen the size. You've seen the unboxing, the specs, that kind of stuff. I may stick the specs just in up here somewhere for a second, just for you guys that didn't catch that, as it were, anything that I've missed. But that has been, as I said, the A30M AnyScan from Xtools. I really hope you've enjoyed this little review, guys. If you have, then please consider giving this video a quick thumbs up. A like, a share would be absolutely awesome. And if you like this kind of content, and van conversions, motorcycle reviews, car reviews, salvage repairs, that kind of stuff, consider subscribing to the channel as well. We've got almost 11,000 subscribers now. We aim to get a video out every couple of weeks. But like I said, that has been the A30M from Xtool, and I really hope you enjoyed it. Thank you so much for taking the time to stop by and watch this. But from Budget Cars and Bikes, that is it, guys. Any questions, please put that in the comment section below, and I'll get back to you within probably about an hour, because I'm pretty much always online these days, as I'm sure most of us are. Anyway, take it easy, guys. We'll be back in a couple of weeks. Thanks so much again for watching. From Budget Cars and Bikes, see you soon.